Welcome to Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle, where professionals in the field inform, educate and inspire the community to be healthier and have a balanced lifestyle. Our first guest today is journalist and meditation teacher Beatriz Goyoaga, and she will be talking to us about the secrets of breath to improve your health. Welcome, Beatriz.
Jai Gurudev, thank you.
So can you tell us what's the relation between the breath and our health?
The breath is probably the most important thing of our life. First thing you did when you were born is breathe in. The last thing you will do when you die is breathe out. It goes with us lifelong, and we ignore the amount of secrets and the amount of benefits health has. It's the cheapest medicine of the market, and it has no side effects, and you can do it at home. You don't even need to go across the road to buy medicine. At home with your hair rollers on, in your pajamas. So fantastic to discover. I discovered this 26 years ago. Discovered the benefits of breath. I accompanied my husband to a big meeting in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where I reside now. And we are helping out to anybody who would like to become a better person, a happier person through breath and meditation.
So you say a better person and a happier person, and we know we have a lot of mental health issues at the moment. So how does it help? How does working with the breath help with mental health?
I want to underline that it is not only in Australia or Melbourne. We are having issues all over the world. It's a very difficult time. When I went to the Antarctic, and there's 2 bases in the Antarctic that have children. I was a month and a half in the icebreaker, on the icebreaker. And I saw children going to school harnessed like the dogs, and with a hook the mother would put them into an iron rod, and the children walked all the way to the school tied to this iron rod. And then when they came out, the teacher would, hook them again, and like that, because the winds were so blowing 140 kilometers an hour. And I was crawling, on the floor. So strong winds. Now, the winds, the mental winds are blowing, whether you are in Madrid, in Perth, Melbourne or Sydney. They are blowing so strongly. We have to be well prepared, well tied. We have something to help these children with, and that is through breath. And that goes with the exams beautifully. In Harvard, in Yale, in the most prestigious universities of the world, they are taking these breath workshops to improve focus, and we will go through benefits if we have the time, because the benefits are very many. So the wealth of the health is incredible.
I'd love to hear some more benefits. Please share.
Well, we could divide them in 3. We can say emotional, intellectual and physical. At the level of the body, the sugar level remains like this even after maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks of doing the breathwork practices. And this I'm telling you, results done in hospitals and in scientific researches, not my own. The blood pressure is also regulated. Anything related to stress, like ulcer of the intestine, of the hiatus, or sleepless nights, tremendous to do away with the sleepless nights, to sleep better. The falling of your hair, psoriasis, scratching, all of these derivated from stress. And then at the level of the hypothalamus, which is the main nervous along the nervous system, in charge of the blinking of the eyes, the beating of the heart, the orgasms, the filter of the liver, anything which is automatic. When you're stressed, the vagus nerve is contracted and nothing works correct. When you do this Sudarshan, the nervous system, the vagus nerve, expands to its normality, and the NKs, the natural killers for cancer patients, is increased like putting ink into the water like this. So for anybody who is undergoing cancer, fantastic to take the Sudarshan Kriya. Now, okay, this is bodily. At the level of emotions, you become softer, you become more patient, you become more understanding to what your children need, to what your partner needs, and you become a nicer person to be with because you are softer, more sweet, more gentle, increase your patience. And when you are after your meditation and breath work, you feel so relaxed that you have more patience, poor thing, like that. And the last one, we've done body and the mind, intellectual. More focus, more alert, more productivity, and more better decisions. Shall I go this way or shall I go this other way? It is more clear, where should I go? Messi, the number one football player of the world, his mind is brilliant. And many of these men are taking breath work and meditation.
What for our viewers at home, we're all breathing all the time. So what do they need to do? Can they do anything today, or do they have to go somewhere and learn these techniques?
I have transmitted this to 7,000 policemen, and I have transmitted this to 1,800 prison inmates, women and men, and 800 prison guards. Prison life is not easy. It's like today home life is also not easy. So the benefits cannot be transmitted online. Otherwise, it would be something wishy-washy. It's like me sending you a kiss over the WhatsApp. You don't get it. But when somebody hugs you and kisses you, oh, how beautiful. So like this, you have to do it. Everybody who is seeking mental health and body health, they should find out what is behind your breath. A lot of secrets.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. If you would like to learn more about secrets of breath and Beatriz Goyoaga, you can visit her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll be back with another interesting guest and another interesting topic.
Stay tuned. After the break, psychotherapist specialising in hypnotherapy Julie Makin will be talking about what is body intelligence and is it the path to inner safety.
Welcome back. Our second guest is Julie Makin, a psychotherapist specialising in hypnotherapy, and we will be finding out if body intelligence is the pathway to inner safety. Welcome, Julie. It's so good to have you back.
Hey, Stephanie. Thank you.
So tell us, what is body intelligence?
Okay, so body intelligence is how our body responds to the environment, and it comes in from the five senses. So what we see, hear, feel, what we taste, what we smell. And our body's actually sending signals at like 300 k's per hour approximately, going up through the body, sending off chemicals. And our bodies have just got this innate knowing about what is right for us. And it does everything it can to protect us. For instance, you fall over, you put your arm out. You don't stop and think about it. The arm just automatically goes out because your body is protecting you.
And how can knowledge of body intelligence lead to inner safety?
Okay, so that knowledge of body intelligence leads to inner safety with us having an awareness. It starts with having an awareness of what's going on inside our body. And when we have that awareness, which comes in from our environment, so we're noticing what's going on in our environment. Our body is taking it in through what we see, what we hear, what we feel, what we taste, and what we smell. And those signals are, being transferred within our body at approximately 300 k's an hour going up to the brain. It's telling us, and it's letting off chemicals and all these kinds of signals, and your body is doing everything it can to provide you with signals as to whether or not you feel safe or whether or not you feel unsafe. And when we're feeling unsafe, you may notice things like the heart starting to race. You may notice, your legs might start to feel unsteady in certain situations. things, or you might start to sweat a little bit. Maybe it's that interview or something. You may even notice at times that your voice might start to have a bit of a tremor on it. So these are signals that your body is sending you that you don't feel safe. Perhaps when you're feeling a sense of anxiety, let's just say that you walk into a room full of people that you don't know, and then all of a sudden you might feel your heart start to pound, or your legs might start to feel unsteady. You might even sweat a little bit. And in some cases, your voice might start to tremor a little bit, just stating that you don't feel safe. This is your body telling you that you don't feel safe. But it's good just to notice those things, and they're just basic signals as to, your body saying you are not safe, because when you feel safe, you feel a connection with people. Having a choice, once you have an awareness of that body intelligence and the acceptance that, okay, so my body's doing this, but you know what, I'm going to choose. I now have an awareness, and I am going to choose. You are now putting yourself back in control, and therefore you're able to plow forward a little bit better, because when we choose and when we have control, our body responds differently.
And how can we strengthen that awareness and increase our sense of choice in that moment?
Okay, so in that moment, you might like to try things like pushing your tongue to the top of your mouth, and it just helps to send signals to your body that, you are safe. You might try breathing techniques. You might, try eye contact with somebody that is safe, smiling with somebody, starting to get a connection with someone. Because when we have connection with somebody, that puts us back into that place of safety. So that's what we're after. We want to feel safe.
Do you have any advice for our viewers on how they can proceed with this information and what they can do next?
Sure, okay. So if you feel that your body is perhaps responding just a little bit too much in the not safe area, I invite your viewers to start to seek professional therapy. It doesn't just have to be conscious mind therapy, but if you were to look for associations, find something that is right for you, because not all therapies are right for everybody. I promise that whatever it is that I do might not be right and suitable for some people, but just know that I personally feel that working with the body is where it's at, and I feel that that is backed up by, many different people. They might like to look at the Australian Hypnotherapy Association, or, but somatic experiencing is another one. But there's so many things that are out there, all different modalities, EFT, kinesiology, all of that kind of thing, that people can use. This is starting to connect with your body. And if people really want to go that little bit extra step and start actually grounding themselves in their body, I invite them to start practicing perhaps yoga or Tai Chi, definitely to help you start breathing properly, getting yourself back into your body, because you know what? Sometimes our body can be a really uncomfortable place to be.
Wonderful. That's great information. Thank you, Julie. If you would like to know more about body intelligence and inner safety and Julie Makin, please visit her webpage on our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And after the break, we'll be back with another interesting guest and another interesting topic.
Stay tuned. After the break, Mindset Coach Sharee Shefket will be talking about how to know if you have self-limiting beliefs. Welcome back. Our last guest today is Mindset Coach Sharee Shefket, and we will be discussing how to know if you have self-limiting beliefs. Welcome, Sharee.
Thank you for having me.
So, what are self-limiting beliefs?
So self-limiting beliefs are basically beliefs that are recurring, that's quite negative about yourself. That's what's called self-limiting. So if you feel like you're, say, an average student because you're a C grade student and have a great report card, that might be a self-limiting belief that you're just an average student. And what happens with the way your subconscious mind works, it will look for evidence. Every time you do something average, see, you're just an average C student. And so that will reinforce that self-limiting belief. And every time you do an activity, you do it with that level of, I'm just an average person. Whereas someone who doesn't have a self-limiting belief, and they're maybe an A+ student in their, as a kid, will look for more evidence that they are an A+ student. So when they do a task, they do it at a different level. So self-limiting beliefs are very important because it could really change your life if you've got them, and we all have. We have probably thousands of self-limiting beliefs unless you work on them. And it all depends on the programming that you've received as in your childhood, because that environment that you grew up in will play a big part of how many self-limiting beliefs you have. So I'll give you another example. If I see a child that gets told that they're stupid, that they're lazy, and they won't amount to anything, that's a term that we've heard a lot, you won't amount to anything, you're hopeless, that subconscious mind will start looking for evidence and grab evidence from the environment to support those negative beliefs. And so that person will have a self-limiting belief that they're lazy, they're stupid, they won't amount to anything. And that's why it's quite important to change this self-limiting belief, because it can really impact someone's life. And so whereas someone who's grown up in a very, very healthy environment, and they were told that, I'm so proud of you, you are intelligent, they're going to have less self-limiting beliefs than someone who hasn't. And that's why it's very crucial.
How do you know if you have self-limiting beliefs?
So some self-limiting beliefs are quite conscious, because it's like, okay, well, that voice in your head will say, see, you don't deserve it, you're unworthy, you're not worthy of beautiful things, and that, so it's a bit more conscious. But we also have several self-limiting beliefs that are still unconscious. The best one I think is really important is the fact of, do you love yourself? So, for example, a self-limiting belief is more of a negative belief about yourself, whereas just a belief about yourself. So you think, I'm capable, I'm productive. That's just a belief about yourself that's got no negative connotation. So what we're looking for is more the negative self-limiting beliefs about how you see yourself and how you present, and that will how you present yourself to the rest of the world. For example, I could test to see if you've got a self-limiting belief. Are you okay with that? Mm-hmm. Fantastic. So I do a thing called Psyche, and it's involves self-muscle testing. So I want you to say your full name, but as you say your name, I want you to swallow your saliva. So my name is, and then swallow.
My name is Ali Burney.
And did you swallow okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now I want you to do the same thing, but this time I want you to say, my name is Frank, and swallow.
My name is Frank.
And how was that for you?
That was really hard to swallow.
Great. The reason why you are unable to swallow is that subconscious controls your whole body. And so when something is not congruent, like the subconscious is basically saying the computer says no, you're lying. It's not like a bit of a lie detector test, but not actual, yeah? So what happens, it weakens your muscles, and that's why it's difficult to swallow. They actually did an experiment on this where they got two groups of people, one with the limiting belief of that they're unlucky and the one's lucky. They put money like in this box thing, like $20 note. The people who were lucky found the money straight away. It was like instant. But the people who had a limiting belief that they were unlucky, even though it was right in front of them, they still did not see the money. That's how powerful a self-limiting belief is. So you can do self-muscle testing through the swallow test. So your audience at home could do this easily. So they have to do a base test, like your name first and then a fake name, and they can test themselves.
So what are some tips to change your self-limiting beliefs?
So once you do the self-muscle testing and you can work out what your self-limiting beliefs are, You do one at a time. I don't recommend doing a few, just one at a time, because it's a process and it does take some time because the subconscious works on repetition. So just say you want to change the belief that you are lucky, not unlucky, you're lucky, yes? What I would recommend is, if you want to do it at home, is start to say you're lucky all the time. So put it on your phone, calendar, so it's repeating. Now your conscious mind is looking at it all the time, and they'll start to go into your subconscious. The other technique I recommend, are you left hand or right hand dominant? Right. Then you brush your teeth with your left hand, and what that will do, it will open up your whole state, your whole brain state, and that way you're brushing your teeth, you say, I am lucky, I am lucky. If we want to change any habits or beliefs, it takes about 66 days, which is about that 10-week mark. So that's why it needs consistency. You don't want to change 2 or 3 limiting beliefs. It's just too difficult. You do it. That's why it's a time-consuming thing, but it's possible. I also recommend someone who does Psyche, like what I do, which takes about 15 minutes to do. Yeah, but you still have to do the repetition, but it's a lot more efficient way to change that limiting belief. So it's something that someone can do at home. Like I said, self-muscle testing, see where the limiting beliefs are, and then start to rewire the mindset in terms of the new belief system. Now, what happens, and this is really important, you have a pathway. So you have a pathway right now that says, I'm unlucky. So let's examine that a bit more. You know, when you go to the beach, there's no pathway, is there? But you can see some footprints. Your mind will go straight to follow the same footprints. That's like a pathway. That's how I look at it. What I'm asking you to do now is we're creating a new pathway, but it's a bit more rugged. It's not as easy because it's not as established. So for you to go onto the new pathway, it's going to take a lot of effort. So, and it's, like I said, a process. And what's going to happen though, if you keep using the new pathway, the old pathway will start to fade away, and that's what we want. It will never go away completely, but will fade away. And the new pathway will start to get a little bit more defined and so forth. That's what we want. So the new belief that I'm lucky will start to get stronger and stronger. But where it goes wrong sometimes with people is that, just say you lose a competition, you don't want to reactivate that new pathway. Okay, I didn't win that competition. Doesn't mean I'm not lucky. I need you to still use the new pathway, because you can start to, again, revert back to the old pathway. That's where it's really important. Like, so it is a difficult process, so help from a therapist is really important. You'll get faster results, and you'll get that coach to really make sure that you stay motivated and having that support that you might need to change your limiting beliefs.
Thank you so much. That was so insightful. If you'd like to know more about Sharee and changing your self-limiting beliefs, you can visit her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. That's it from us today. We'll see you next week.
If you'd like to know more about our show, please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.